us as learners of the teachings of the superior beings, as our purpose here is to study is Spiritism Inspiring Lives. And we start our study with a prayer which we ask Thais to do for us today.
And connected as we are, we say thank you to God, to Jesus, for the opportunity to be reunited here once more, to learn and reflect on the Spirit's message, on Jesus' teachings, reflect in our values, in our understanding, and learning with each other. We also thank you, the Spirit's benefactors, that has preceded us, preparing this ambient. We thank you, our Spirit guides, for your love and your patience towards us through this journey of reincarnation on earth. And we ask, through this study, help with the understanding, with the reflections of this message, with the understanding of this passage on the gospel. And that not just the understanding, but that we can apply these teachings in our lives, what we learn in our day-to-day. In that way, we better ourselves and we help with the progress of this planet, with our progress and those around us. In this way, I ask permission to start this meeting. So be it.
So be it. Welcome everyone, ourselves and all of those who may be joining us through our chats, through our live transmission, all of those in the spirit who are also with us. Hello, Regina. Feel welcome in our study group, which we are all invited to participate and bring our contributions either through our questions or our understandings. As always, our study is Spiritism Inspiring Lives, and today our theme is In My Father's House Are Many Mansions. We are studying Spiritism from a transpersonal perspective, considering that we are all immortal beings, considering the laws of God, and considering also the reincarnation process. And to facilitate our reflections, we have some questions which we ask Severina to start with the first one, please.
Okay. Hi, so the first question is, how can we interpret Jesus' message in John 14:2? In my Father's house are many mansions. Through the lights of Spiritism, how well we'll understand this?
So I think this is a very interesting passage that Jesus left us, and there's three aspects of this message. The first would be to do with the plurality, of the words, where he says where the house of the Father is the universe, and the infinite words are the many mansions where the spirits incarnate, where like on earth, where we incarnate for our progress. The second aspect is the regions that exist in the spirit world, where we return once we leave our physical body, and it's also called the vibration. The vibrations, isn't it? Our tune, where we tune. And the third level would be the different levels of evolution that each one of us are. And in this aspect, I was thinking in this mansion or in the house that we we have within us, where there is a place for transformation, for renovation, faith, and spiritual progress. And there's a constant battle there, an intimate battle against the good and the evil. And that is also related to our level of conscience and love. So that's the three aspects that this passage says, and we'll be reflecting more on that through the other questions. Evanice or Severina, would you like to add?
I just want to say, actually, this is my favorite passage because I love physics, and this kind of brings me closer. We know that time when the passage was written, we didn't know much about universe. People were still thinking the planet Earth is flat, if anything. But now we know that what Jesus was referring was actually to the different planets and universe and our solar system. So by the mansions, he meant different planets. So we could think of our planet Earth of one of the mansion. That's how I understand.
Yes, it's very good to know different mansions, understanding that the Father's house, meaning God's, is the universe. And for me, at least, where I am in my stage of evolution at the beginning, we are on Earth, and Earth is one of Father's houses where we, as children, are blessed with the opportunity to be in this school for us to promote ourselves further for in the future, to be capable to learn in different planets. But I see it in a very positive, constructive way, that our existences, as is a continual process, is not only based on Earth, but is beyond it. Can we move to the second one? Should we move to the second one?
The second question, if we reflect on the first aspect of this message, the plurality of the words, would the different words be the same as Earth and its inhabitants?
Would you be able to move to the next slide, Venice? Because I think the spirits answer these beautifully. And so they say in chapter 3 of the Gospel, as a result of spirit teachings, we know that the condition of the various words differ one from the other with respect to the degree of elevation or inferiority of their inhabitants. So in here, he's already telling us that it's different. And amongst those whom are those inferior of the inhabitants of earth, both physically and morally. So in Spiritism, when we study Spiritism, we hear about the different words, and the spirits bring us about the primitive words, where the spirits that inhabit this type of words is like in their first reincarnations. Then it comes with the word of trials and atonements, where the evil still predominates, and but less than the primitive word. The primitive word is more instinct. And then we go to the word of generation, where the spirits the spirits in this word still have go to trial, but evil is less predominant, and it's kind of a word of transition between the word of trials and atonements to a happy word. And then they talk about the happy words, where the good predominates to the celestial words. And the only reason I'm saying that is just to highlight that we spirits are not prisoners of one word. We're not just in one word or one category of the word. And as we progress and learn, we all, like when we learn to exercise our virtues and we progress morally and intellectually, once we learn everything we have to learn on the type of word that we find ourselves, we will progress to a different type of word, and according to our spiritual level.
Mm-hmm. I like what you said, is that we are not closed or restricted to one planet, to one of the mansions, but we are free to move around as long as we choose to evolve. And that also serves as at least to me, a great stimulus in order to carry on progressing, because it only depends on each one of us as spirits, how far we go and how fast we want to do it. But knowing that there are different functions, different planets, different schools for us to carry on learning, and always greater and greater, that brings to me at least great hope.
Yes, I just wanted to add, I think maybe some people are asking themselves, okay, so on which level is our planet Earth? I did some reading and I found out that planet Earth actually just move or is in process of transitions from moving from the planet of trial and atonement into a planet of regeneration. And we could think of our planet Earth as like a spaceship which is moving in cosmos. As we're moving, we're changing the vibrations. And in 2020, according to many science and some spirits as well, apparently we kind of move from the planet of triad and atoms to regeneration, and this is when the COVID actually what happened. So that was very interesting kind of coincidence, effect to move our planet to kind of forward, I guess, and speed up the progress, new technological advance because of the COVID did happen. So it could be a beneficial for us, I wanted to say.
Okay. So can we move on then to the next question, please?
Yes, the next question is, one second. The second and the third aspect, regions, of vibratory spheres that exist in the spiritual world, and the different levels of progress of each spirit, would the home of the spirits be relative to the state of evolution?
So as we mentioned before on the previous questions, our home is directly related to our evolution. So there are some exceptions. There are some spirits that are already in a higher level of evolution than we are, but chose to reincarnate on Earth to help us, to help with our progress. But the majority of us are on Earth because it's where we need to be. And we talked about vibration and tuning. So we are where we are tuned to, and where we need to be to learn what we still have to learn. As you mentioned as well, we are Earth, a world of trials and atonements, and that's where we need to be due to our excessive habits like temptations, passions. So until we learn to better ourselves, to transform our habits, to be more connected to the divine on us, to follow God's laws, then we will leave, our home will be where we have to be. And as we choose to go through this transformation, we will evolve as well. As you also mentioned, Earth is now through the process of transition, and is a very important time for everyone to it's like a wake up and to choose to improve themselves, to work all in that inner transformation, to be less attached to matter, and indeed look at what is real, not what is permanent, but not what is just temporary. Because as Earth evolves, we want to be on Earth, because it will be a planet of generation, and that's where we would like to reincarnate, as well as we would like to evolve with Earth.
Can we move on to the next one, Sabrina, please?
Okay, so continue about the words. about different type of the words. What type of word is earth? And we have been going through so many events on the earth, like natural calamities and not natural events, pandemic, wars, and so on. So why could this be happening?
So you mentioned that Earth is a planet of trial and atonements, and in the gospel, the spirits, and it's highlighted that, answer that, and I think it's just beautiful the way they put. I don't know if beautiful is the word, but it's very appropriate. Where they say the great number of superior intelligence among your inhabitants indicates that the earth is not a primitive world. And then they said the innate qualities which they bring with them constitutes a proof of their having already lived and achieved a certain degree of progress. But the number of vices to which we are subject also shows our great moral imperfections. This is why God has placed us in an ungrateful world in which they can make atonement to have work and the suffering of the miseries of life until they deserve to ascend to happier planets. So this doesn't mean that God is punishing us. God is love, and He always wants to teach us through love. But this is what we chose. We are giving many and many opportunities, and we will still are. Our fate is to progress, so we're always going to have opportunities to better ourselves, but it's up to us how do we choose and how long it will take. So as mentioned, earth is going through a process of transition, and we are called to move one level of conscious to another level, to a more evolved level, so we can follow the transition of this planet in a way, again, that we can hopefully incarnate here when it's a word of regeneration. Otherwise, we will have to migrate to a word of trials and atonement until we're ready to reincarnate in a word of regeneration.
Until we choose to regenerate ourselves, because there is no easy ride. In a sense, the planet is moving, yes, but we will not be capable to be participating or be allocated in a planet of regeneration if we don't choose to regenerate ourselves. What does it mean? To actualize ourselves, or belief systems, or values, or desires, or likes and dislikes, more and more actualizing our needs as a free choice according to simplicity, according to, let's say, the values, customs which will prevail in the next planet, which is the regeneration planet. So what will be predominated? I think where we are here, that is still matter overrides spirit. We need to favor or promotion that we choose to favor the spiritual aspects above the materialistic ones, or the values and concepts that are temporal instead of those who are temporal, and also changing gradually our way how we relate with us in relation to the universe, developing more the characters of the good being, which we so much learn in the gospel according to Spiritism, because in that way we surely are helping us to move forward in this, let's say, changing process where we are. Can we go towards the last one, Sabrina?
Yes. So the last question is, how can we help ourselves, others, and the planet in those times of planetary transition?
So I'm going to leave to Emmanuel to answer this one, because I just think it's exactly what we need. And he says in that the relevant thing is to beauty the world and improve it. And this is accomplished to the moral transformation of men. So our moral transformation. In this line, each human being is placed in the best context in order to improve themselves. So you don't have to die or even change your neighborhood, job, family, or country to be happy. You do need to be worthy and generous wherever life has placed you. You need to learn to forgive and to relinquish yourself in benefit of others, rather than asking for help from others. When you become hardworking, selfless, loyal, and kind, you will live in peace in any environment. Even if it's challenged by external factors, you will have a piece of heaven in your heart. And that is the recipe, isn't it? Emmanuel is giving us a recipe of how can we progress, how can we help as well others to progress. And as Evanice was talking on the last question, I was thinking through this time of pandemic, through this time of so many natural calamities as well that happen in Haiti, of war that is like civil war that is happening in other places. We are having so many opportunities, and we've been pushed to grow, to think about others, not just ourselves, to become less attached to material things, to be less vain, and to think about moral values, our moral values, and to learn more and more about God's laws, to connect to God in us, isn't it? So the opportunity is there, and everyone has been called, and it's up to us to choose what do we want to do. Of course, we're not going to be able to become perfect in this incarnation, in one incarnation, but our effort to change, to be better, to control our tendencies, our bad habits, and through our attitude, our thoughts, what we say, what do we share in social media, it's all opportunities for us to become that hardworking, selfless, and loyal and kind that Emmanuel is saying in his message. I don't know if Vanessa or Severina would like to say anything.
Just want to quickly say, it's so true what Emmanuel it says. How I understood the last part of the saying that many people, some people who are poor, let's say, don't have much. Sometimes they feel a little bit embarrassed, let's say, to invite the rich and wealthy friends to their home because they think it's too humble for them. And according to Emmanuel, when you reach this level, you are going to feel good and satisfied in no matter where you are and no matter what position you are. So when we got this feeling of not worry about what we have and how this looks like and what other people think about us, I think we could say that we kind of evolving and we're getting there.
Yes, because we are really learning gradually to focus within, as all the perspective within Spiritism is reminding us. It is within, and as more as we, let's say, fortify our essence or connect with our essence and develop our essence or the values and potentials from the higher self, we simplify our lives, we simplify our habits, we are more stronger in the real values, and therefore the having or the external aspects, they become relatively different once we are connected with the ego state of mind. So as more as we as spirits are evolving spiritually, that means psychologically and emotionally, we will perceive ourselves from a different perspective. We see life and experiences from a different reality, and in that way the external aspects, they become irrelevant, and also our inner faith will grow because we are more and more coming closer to God within, because the laws are within. And in that way, we become less affected or give less importance to what we have, and our real value really will no longer be dependent on what we have. It becomes dependable who we are, because the essence does not depend on external elements. And that is quite freeing and therapeutic in terms of stimulating us to renew ourselves in this pathway as more as we do, better for us already. So we feel good within, despite not having much, let's say, if that is the case where we are temporarily in experience. And in that way, we are coming to the end of our reflections today. And once more together, all of us, let's close this meeting, which all of us incarnates and all of those in the spirit have been participating, ending it with a prayer. Let's unite our hearts and minds as children of God, as we all are, beings essentially of love and light and goodness, and give you thanks to God, the loving Father, who created us with love in order for us to learn to love. Expressing our gratitude for this unique reincarnation, which we are blessed, having this opportunity to invest in our promotion spiritually, so that we can choose on daily basis to promote our thinking more and more according to the universal laws, remembering ourselves that we are all brothers and sisters in humanity, and doesn't matter what we did or others did in the past, the focus has to be in the present as a free choice, choosing to forgive ourselves from any mistakes or shortcomings, choosing freely to also forgive others. Always be in mind that we are all brothers and sisters. Choosing to develop the universe of fraternity is starting within our families, knowing that all the different members of our families, although they are temporarily in different positions, but we, above all, are all brothers and sisters in humanity. Choosing to develop the good characters of the good being in our homes, in our workplace, in the community and society where we find ourselves. Also express our gratitude for everything that we have, what has been given to us so far, for the challenges that the universe presents us in order to awake us in this sleepy state of mind, so that we can revigorate ourselves, becoming stronger from within, choosing to invest wisely in the time given to each one of us, either incarnates or disincarnates. May we freely choose to respect each other and to choose and freely willing to cooperate for the good of everyone, within our minds, within our hearts, through our hands, through our way of being, becoming more charitable, more humble, and more loving, with ourselves, with others, and with God. We also express our gratitude for the spiritual benefactors who anticipated us preparing this ambient and also assisting us throughout their study. May they bless every and each one of us. Our gratitude for our Master Jesus, for once more inviting us for us to cooperate in his field, doing good through our examples, through our actions. And in that way, with joy in our hearts, we conclude our study. So be it. Blessings for all of those who have been with us and all of those who want to join us later on in our study in Portuguese tonight at 8, Evangelho e Mediunidade em Minha Vida. Feel welcome. Otherwise, wish you well, much peace, hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.